Good afternoon, everyone. So I wanted to just come on because I was thinking that, October is such an interesting month. It has quite a few kind of things going on in it. And, one is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It's also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We also have World Mental Health Day. That was October 10th. And the more I was thinking about it, the more I was thinking about how all of these things really do, in one way or another, tie in together, and how we really are so affected by the current state of COVID and how it has affected everybody. And that's really all I wanted to come on and talk about. But every time I say it's all I wanted to talk about, the next thing I know, I'm 20 minutes in and I've repeated myself about 5 times, but that's not what I'm going to try to do today. So I know for years I saturated everybody's Facebook feed with my Avon Walk posts when I did the Avon Walk. Unfortunately, as many of you know, the Avon Walk no longer exists. And so that doesn't mean that it suddenly became unimportant to me. Many of you also know that, I have a deep focus now on Lyme disease because of how it has affected my family. So it's not that, again, one thing has become more important in the grand scheme of things, but it has certainly become more important, to be honest with you, within my family's life. But that doesn't mean that I still don't want people to be aware of, the fact that we need to continue to talk about, especially metastatic breast cancer. For those that don't know about metastatic breast cancer, it's very important that, we know there are people in this world that are living with metastatic breast cancer, and it's and regardless of the pink ribbons and all the slogans and all of that, this hasn't gone away. And I wish obviously that it did, but it hasn't. And even though, again, I'm not able to do fundraising or a walk or anything like that anymore, it doesn't mean that, again, it's not any more important to me than it was before. Um, I've certainly lost many friends, and have had friends been affected by breast cancer. Um, and so, again, I don't minimize the importance of it. I've had family members also pass away from breast cancer. So again, it's not something that I don't take seriously. But one of the things I do want to say is that, and I think I pointed this out in one of my last videos, is that because of COVID, a lot of people have been very nervous, as they should be, and I get it, about getting mammograms done and going to see the doctor or following up with treatment. And, there are definitely safe ways to do all of these things. And as I did mention in one of my last videos, that even though doctors are saying that they're seeing less cases or a decrease in cases, what they were basically saying was it's not because they don't exist, it's because people aren't going and getting themselves treated and 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 getting diagnosed. And again, as we all know, early diagnosis is very, very important. So please, women and men, men also get breast cancer. Please go get tested. Not go get tested. I'm sorry. Please go get your mammograms. Don't reschedule them to next year. And if you're at high risk, if you're someone who falls in the category of having especially a maternal family member that has had breast cancer, please go get your mammogram. Please, again, speak to your doctor about how to get these things done safely. I had mine done, again during this. I've gone to the doctor a few times for things, that they had to be rescheduled initially, and once rescheduled, I went. I felt completely safe. Again, I understand everybody has their own level of anxiety about this, but your health has to be number one, and we can't put these things aside because of a virus. And I'm not minimizing the virus, okay? Just like I wouldn't minimize the flu when it's flu season. I think same thing. Try to be extra precautious, and if you don't have to go places where there's a lot of people, especially at the doctor's office, where everybody's sick, why would you ever recommend that? I'm not a doctor, and I'm not telling people what to do. I'm just saying that these things are still important. They don't become less important because there is a virus there. And it would be horrible to not, get checked and, and to skip, sorry, your mammograms, or honestly, any other things that you need to get done because of this. So please just consider, oh, my face looks weird. So please just consider, you know, that if you have one scheduled, please, please go. Again, a lot of times we are the person that finds, our masses and lumps and things like that ourselves. But mammograms also, um, are extremely important as far as early detection. And, so that's what I want to say about that. And moving on to Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I think, again, most of you know that throughout the summer, myself and Jennifer Blum, who is the founder and director of the Help Save Foundation, we did a series of videos regarding domestic violence during COVID. But please understand that, well, number one, COVID is not going anywhere. But we talked about lockdown and isolation and the increase in severity of cases of domestic abuse. And so I've been reposting those videos during this month. And so I just really am bringing this up also because I want to encourage all of you to please consider sharing those videos because, again, as we try to point out this summer, you never know who may need this information, whether it be someone who's in a serious situation, an unsafe situation at home, or if it's someone who just needs some information to try to help out maybe or support a family member or a coworker. So this information, again, isn't just, so you're in a situation, so here you go, because obviously, as we know, like not everybody has access to computers and phones when they're in an unsafe situation. So this information, pertains to, again, caregivers and coworkers, friends, family. It also gives information on, our kids and teenagers and the red flags that go up with our kids. That's never going to go away, regardless of COVID. So I'm just, again, urging everybody that as we're posting these videos, during Domestic Violence Awareness Month, just something to consider. Again, you don't want to watch the whole video. I completely get it. Some of them can be very lengthy as we were trying to get information out there to everybody. But again, you never know who is watching. You never know who may be in an extremely dangerous or unsafe situation. And so I feel like every time we pass on information, again, we don't know who we may very well be saving, so many times throughout the summertime and going into the fall. Because of those videos, Jen was getting a myriad of emails and phone calls to help um, families. And without those videos, I honestly, and I'm not patting ourselves on the back, but I'm being honest, I don't know if those families would have reached out. I don't know if those friends of those families or coworkers would have known what to do and what steps to take. So that's why I'm saying that. And again, all of this is wrapped up in our mental health and our mental wellness. And, the fact that because of the increased isolation that many people have felt and been in, there's been an increase in a lot of mental health symptoms and, increases in depressive symptoms or anxiety. Again, isolation, for some people, they say that they thrive, being away from people. They're introverts, they enjoy that, and they're okay being home alone, and that's wonderful for you, but not everybody feels that way, and most people really don't feel that way. 80% of people with mental illness have actually stated very clearly that there has been a huge increase in symptoms because of COVID. Um, so again, be gentle with everybody. Be gentle with yourselves. You know, part of why I do the videos that I do is I'm trying all the time to not only get information out there to those that may still feel uncomfortable reaching out to, excuse me, to speak with a therapist or a life coach or anybody. But I just want to make sure that people know that we are here, and that and try to remove the stigma because I feel like it still exists, and I wish that it didn't. I wish that we would stop looking at, um, you know, asking for support, extra help, or just saying, I just need someone else to talk to other than my friends and my family and my coworkers, someone who's objective and can just listen. Um, Maybe just get an objective point of view that that's not a sign of weakness. And, I wish that we could just talk about these things openly. And I think that the more that we do, then again, the more people, we'll start to see, hopefully anyway, less isolation of people, even when COVID obviously is over, less, you know, again, the stigma around, less people unwilling to reach out when feeling, suicidal, or less, people wanting to reach out when, they see a relapse coming. Addiction is part of this as well. There's a lot of people who are afraid to speak about that. And you can have whatever opinion you want about addiction and where it comes from and why people, relapse, but that's not really the point here. The point is that relapse does happen and addiction does exist, and it is still stigmatized regardless of how something happened, why it happened, and what's going on with somebody. And the truth is that, you know, people would be more willing. I truly believe this, and I know it just from working with addicts for, at least 12 to 15 years, that, if they didn't feel so ashamed to speak to somebody, then I really do truly believe that relapse, the key, or the when you look at the statistics, that their rate of relapse would be much less than it is. It's awful to think that, people feel still to this day that, again, they feel less shame to, you know um, potentially to go use, and than they do to go speak to their family or their friends and say, hey, I feel a relapse coming, or I was triggered, or I actually did relapse, and I know that I need to go get help. Like, people shouldn't feel that way. They should hopefully feel like they could just come to someone and say, this happened yesterday, or I see this coming, or these are the feelings that I'm having right now, and I know this is a trigger. Can you come with me to a meeting? Or, I know that I need to go inpatient. These should just be normal conversations. Just like, what, I'm having thoughts of wanting to hurt myself and I need help, so those again also should be normal conversations. And when you meet with a lot of people, um, the truth is they will tell you that they've had numerous instances of self-injurious behavior, suicidal ideation, even attempts. And when you ask them, well, who who found you, or who did you, who took you to the hospital? And I can honestly tell you that so many of the responses are nobody. And nobody is because they were afraid to tell somebody, ashamed to tell someone, to talk to someone, to ask for help. So I'm saying these things because truly, you know, I am one person, and I'm trying to, um, again, disseminate as much information to people as I possibly can through this outlet. But um, I can only do so much, and as my, colleagues and peers as well. But it really doesn't come down to us. I mean, people look at us, they already make assumptions about what we must think about things, and mental health and mental illness and addiction and treatment. It doesn't matter what I think. It matters what everybody else thinks. It matters what you guys think and how you speak about things and the words that you use. So um, I just wanted to come on and say those things today because I felt that they were important. I will always think that they're important. Again, please, if you have an appointment for a mammogram this year, and you're nervous, worried about it, please reach out to your doctor, reach out to the nurses, reach out to radiology just to ensure what their protocol is. Again, I felt extremely safe going to get my mammogram done. Um, there was nothing about it, like I said, that to me was where I felt unsafe or uncomfortable. Um, and, again, I will always say early detection does save lives. Obviously not everybody, and I'm fully aware of that. I'm not ignorant to the stats. Again, I was immersed in this in this for a long time, but it does help. Um, and again, please, if you consider sharing our videos regarding domestic violence and COVID. I want to say I think we did about 10 of them. I've been sharing them on my Facebook wall, and I'm going to continue to. I'm going to do it today, so I'll probably share 2 videos today. um, you know, so please consider sharing, because again, you have no idea who might be watching just in that moment that might need that information, or just might need that support to know that you actually are someone who they might be able to reach out to. You have no idea how important that can be. And other than that, thanks so much. I hope everybody continues to stay safe and well.